Welcome to another episode from Inside Treasures. My name is Phoebus and I love to challenge myself and those around me for the purpose of growth. This podcast is about helping you to heal, to change, and to grow. By listening to this episode, you're going to find a way to find true connection with yourself and the world around you. In the previous episode, we used questions as a way to shift our attention and how we experience the world. In the episode before that one, I described about a model of how we experience the world. And this episode is also linked to that. So if you have time, go back and listen to the episode so you can understand how we experience the world. In this episode, we're going to focus on one of my favorite ways of changing how we experience the world, a way that we come in contact with the observer. And that is mindfulness. Mindfulness is about bringing our attention to the present moment without any judgment. And by doing that, we come in contact with the observer. We come in contact with who we are. We come in contact with the world around us. Practicing mindfulness can give you sanity, can give you peace, and can give you pleasure. It shifts us from how we experience the world into a more engaged way. Now, in this episode, we're going to mainly focus about being in the present moment, but focusing outside of ourselves. I want us to focus about what's out there. What's out there in a natural setting. Now, why do I find this concept so important that I want to share with you? I want you to think of an analogy. I want you to think of the times where perhaps you've been in a disco, or you've been in like a club, or you've been somewhere that was a lot of noise. But somehow you managed to have a good time. Somehow you managed to have fun. And that's like clubs and discos, they tend to be the best ones because the music is booming, it's really loud, there's a lot of people, you're shouting to your friends or someone is shouting at you, trying to hear what they're saying, perhaps dancing, having a very good time, but it's very loud. But we're not aware of that as much. We are aware of it, but we're having fun, so why does it matter? But the minute we leave, the minute we go outside of that place, we start to see how much the level of noise has dropped. We start to notice that perhaps our ears are buzzing and our ears are hurting and we're thinking, gosh, it was really loud in there. And now I feel so much more peaceful, so much more serene. Yeah, I had a blast. Yeah, I had a good time. But I feel calmer now than when I was in that environment. So that environment was causing me some kind of stress. Although it was pleasant, the noise levels were too high. I find this concept to be quite similar to how we experience the world from day to day. We have all this mind chattering. We have all these different pictures and images we're making with our minds. We have all these different emotions, our thoughts, everything constantly moving and shifting and creating interference of how we experience the world, how we experience ourselves within the world. And this interference, this noise that keeps happening time after time after time. But there is a way to shift back, to tune that all down, to slow it down a little bit, just for a time frame. And that happens with practice, practicing mindfulness, finding a space, finding the time. And the more we practice, the more we realize that actually we don't need that much time. As long as we can find that space for us to be, as long as we are in the present moment, noticing at the beginning the interference that exists, shifting our attention to something else. And that's why like this kind of exercise today that we're going to lightly touch is about coming in contact with the world out there, seeing the world for what it is. And seeing how that makes us feel when we're truly there and fully connected with the world around us. When we shift our attention from where we are and the interference which we have here, we want to fully see, fully hear, fully feel. So we want to feel the wind. We want to listen to the sea. We want to hear the birds. We want to smell the soil. We want to experience what is out there. A very simple exercise to do is to go somewhere in nature. Be it a park, be it the sea, be it a mountain, be it a hill, be it a forest, it doesn't matter. Somewhere in nature, somewhere that you tune in, somewhere that you feel great being in. If you don't like the sea and I take you to the sea, you're not going to have fun. But I love the sea. I'm going to have a lot of fun in the sea and the beach. Find a place where it's natural, a natural habitat to sit. Concentrate on your breathing for a few moments. Don't try to change it. Just notice it. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. But you're actually experiencing something profound. And after a few minutes of experiencing that profound, of changing your attention and focusing on your breathing, close your eyes and enjoy that. It's a trip. It's a journey of its own. And it's something that's happening all the time. And now begin to observe the world. If you're by yourself, perfect. If there are other people there, perfect. Just observe. Observe the trees, observe the sea, observe the sand, whatever it is that's around you. Are there other people, the kids playing? Observe that. Enjoy seeing other people interact. Notice their facial expressions. Notice their body language. Notice if they're happy. How are they feeling? Just notice. Just take note of what's happening. But focus more on nature. When you focus on nature and feeling in peace, and you have found the harmony within you, you will discover a tender world. Even if you have a glimpse for a second into this world, that can change your life significantly. You will discover a hopeful world, a world full of optimism as things are okay with or without you. And you will understand that the world is, no matter how you feel internally or how you don't. You'll see that the world is mainly in harmony. The birds, the trees, the whole creation is flourishing. It's full of life. It's full of excitement. It's full of power. It's full of mystery. We can have this experience in the real world, and we can have it within our imagination. If we can't go anywhere, we can shut our eyes and remember of a nice place we had a good time at, and get curious into seeing and remembering and hearing the things that we heard and saw when we were in that place. It's not that hard. You can remember it with picture. Remember how you felt. How did I feel in that place? Because what we're getting into again is our internal experience. We're using the outside world in order to tap into what's within us, in order to tap into peace and harmony, calmness. But we're using the outside world, and that's helping us tap into that. So we look at the world and we notice the world, and we keep breathing in and breathing out. And we get curious into seeing the positive, optimistic, happy, intimate, loving, full of companionship world. And in there, we can find everything. In there, we can find peace, we can find stillness, we can find out who we are. Now, when our world is positive, when we're in tune with who we are, it's very easy for us to connect with the world. It can help us feel refreshed. The aim is to feel rooted, just like a tree, to have flexible branches, but have a strong trunk, well rooted within the earth. Another thing to understand is, if outside there is peace, and inside there is turmoil, guess where we get to live in as part of our eternal experience? That of turmoil. If we're sad, the world is a sad place. If we're angry, the world is an angry place. Our personal subjective experience, like I said earlier, it's 100% true. Life can be sweet, but most of the times we are the ones that make it bitter. If there's peace inside, and outside there's commotion, what do you think our subjective experience is? It's mainly that of peace. It's not that we don't see the commotions out there. It's not that we don't see the bad out there. But because we are so well rooted, because we have such a strong trunk things do not affect us. We get to keep our internal experience intact. To recap, we talked about mindfulness, how we lightly treaded on the landscape of mindfulness. We learned about being more present, how to link to the observer, by observing the world around us, by seeing, by hearing, by smelling, by using your 5 senses fully to experience the world. And also by shifting from the day-to-day, all about me, into being out there. So on one side, we're projected into the world. On the other side, we're receiving projections of the world within us. Now, the one thing that I would like you to do is take this idea, find a place, a natural setting that is to your liking, and go and experience it. Go spend 5-10 minutes. If you want to walk, you can walk slowly, but if you can sit in one place, find one place to sit where you can see, where you can observe, and just observe whatever it is that comes to your attention. That way, you will be in the present moment. You will be here in the now. If there are desires that come to you, I want to go there, I want to do this, I forgot to do that, it's fine. Acknowledge that thought and look around you again. Find something else. Be curious about the world you live in. Be curious about what's out there. Please share this podcast with anyone who you think might benefit. Until next time, let peace guide your life, love guide your heart, and reason guide your thoughts.